Àlàáfíà àbọ̀rọ̀bùyẹ bó ṣiṣẹ́. You know, it's my nighttime. Well, I ain't sleep. Everybody else's morning time. Where you in the bed, feeling beautiful and lovely. Hopefully having peaceful dreams. One thing I just kept laying there thinking about what can I say to someone. And it's got to be for someone. It's not, just me up here rambling. It was actually something that kept me where I wasn't able to rest. And I always try to teach about Iwa Pele, but some people just are not getting there's more to Iwa Pele than just good character, because good character means many things. The one thing well, actually two things that I want to touch on is pride and arrogance. Um, a lot of us priests and priestesses may go to the level of even being arrogant. Um, the only fact, now that's just an opinion, the only fact is that we are all created equal. There's not one person on this earth that's better than the next person. Um, and we need to keep that in mind, because people's ego is a lot of times what separates them from their blessings, when their ego gets in the way. And pride and arrogance is a form of ego, which a lot of us have. I don't care how long you've been doing hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, Palo, spiritualism, Christianity. I don't care how long you've been doing it. No man is better than the next man. Only character defines if you're better than someone else. But you, as a human being, as a person, as a priest, whatever, you've got elders that talk to their omo awo as if they're bigger and better than them. No, they have more knowledge and they're teaching you, but they shouldn't be disrespecting you at all. Um, I'm gonna come back to this subject. Also, something that's popping out to me a lot is that the females that come into this tradition, when they come across the male priests that teach them, the male priests start putting these ideas or notions that this godchild is going to have to sleep with them eventually if they can't pay for something. Well, that's you setting yourself up as prostitution, because um, sex doesn't buy Orisha. Sex is only pleasurable to that priest. It's not buying your Orisha. So you should never take any, I don't care how bad you feel like that you have to have this Orisha in your life. You don't have to shortchange yourself or give your body to get the Orisha. Nor is Ifa ever going to tell the Babalawo that he has to have sex with you in order for the Ebo to be complete. These are made up things. It's not Ifa. It's just that person that came up with that. Now I'm gonna go back to the pride and arrogance, um, because what you'll realize is a person that has pride, they also are very arrogant. That is not a good character trait to have. I don't care how good you are. You could be the best in the world, and we could uplift you high, but you don't have to parade yourself around like such. Um, and that specific, there is a Odu, Osai Obata. That is Obata on the right, Osai on the left. That speaks about pride and arrogance. Um, let me get a because I don't want to say it wrong. So let me pull out. It says here. I'll read the translation. It says, "Only a mad person thinks that others are not wise." This was Ifa's declarations for Rarakaka, their son in heaven. When in the midst of enemies, he was advised to offer a bow. He complied. Okay, so in this Odu, Ifa likens to those who think that they are only wise ones, with those who are crazy people. This is one of the reasons why one must not be exaggerated expression of oneself. Don't ever say something that you are not. If you are not a priest, do not say you're a priest. If you are not a hoodoo, do not say you are a hoodoo. If you are not a mambo or ungan in voodoo, don't say that you are these things. This is what people are expecting you to be. And when you're not what you say you are, it makes your culture look bad. So it means your ego is getting in the way to give yourself a title that you're not rightfully supposed to be parading around using. I mean, even when we initiate, when I initiated to voodoo, I couldn't come right back and just start practicing, as a mambo. It took time, and then I realized that that wasn't my path. And then I got down into Santeria, and when I got into Santeria, I did not get out there and just parade as it that I was, you know, Ialosha. I was still trying to figure out where if I was going to do my voodoo stuff or Orisha stuff. And then I had known nothing about Ifa, but when Ifa opened up to me, I threw all those titles and just claimed the Yanifa because there wasn't need for all of those titles. When you got to put 20 names on the back of your name, all of that means is that I'm trying to compensate for something that I'm lacking in. If you are who you say you are, it will show. It will show in your life. It will show in your character, and it will show in the people that tend to want to follow you. Even the people that follow you are not lower than you. They're not. You're not better than them. Some priests get this, but some priests just they don't. I'm telling the people that are not priests that are trying to get up to that level, don't ever let anyone make you feel like that they're better than you. Um, so yeah, so that's what that Abdul says. So when you're exaggerating, it says only a deceitful Orisha devotee will claim that his competence has no rival, meaning that he's the best, he's untouchable, and he's better than everybody else. And he'll be dangling his white clothes about. These were Ifa's declarations for Pishi. That means misconduct. Okay, so if you go around parading and saying that you're the best and there's nobody else out there that is as good as you, you put yourself in the realm of misconduct. That is uh, bad character as well. The elder sibling of Orisha, he was advised to Alfred Bow. He complied. No egungun makes life difficult for anyone. No Orisha makes life unbearable for anyone. It is only misconduct that is the most difficult and most grievous than them all. So a lot of times that we're walking around thinking that life isn't fair to us and somebody just gave us a whole bunch of bull crap and they didn't give us no blessings from heaven or the sky world. They just gave us the mess that was left over. No, a lot of times your own conduct, the way that you've conducted your life, your character has caused mishaps in your life. So a lot of times you're your own enemy. So this Odu, I want to say, is in Ofun Ogbi. If you want to go back and research that, Ofun Ogbi talks about misconduct, and that would be Ofun on the right and Ogbi on the left. Okay, so and when I was teaching before about how to have good character and remain to have good character, and a Conran Meji, it states more about how you should have your attitude or how you should conduct your attitude. It also talks about misconduct. So if you want to come down to this earth and do the work that Olodumare has placed us down here to do, it is very good to understand who you are as an individual. Understand what makes you tick, understand your weaknesses, understand your strengths. Work on your weaknesses. Every one of us have them, even the ones that are online that are trying to pretend like they don't have any, they're perfect. No, nobody on this earth is perfect. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it because I know I'm not perfect. There's nothing about me perfect. Um but I'm not going to be going around online parading that I'm the best in the whole world. That's not even logical. It's not even based on reality. I mean, little old me, I'm an ant, a little tiny ant. There's many of us priests do many awesome things, but no one should say I'm the best at this, and that's how it is, because no, we shouldn't even be competing. Um, let's see. There's another story. If you want to go back and reference to try to look up old dudes, if you want to see if what I'm saying is correct. Hey, Power Stroke. If you say, like, if you really want to do your own research, which I say you always do your own research, because you don't know what I mean, I could be telling you anything. I want you to go and look for Oyeku Obara. I want you to look up Osa Obara. I want you to look up Ofun Ogbe. I think there's one more. Irosun Otora. Look those old dudes up, and it will tell you about being in the realm of misconduct. Because misconduct and Iwa Pele, like if you have ego, pride, arrogance, um, you are setting yourself up for a disastrous journey. I promise you, things are not going to go good for you at all. Orisha are not going to be blessing you with everything that your little heart desires. I mean, you got to get yourself right within. And something just came to me now. I'm gonna go back to this in a few minutes, but I want to talk a little bit about to the females that at this point you're like, okay, I'm done with men. I'm tired of men. I can do this by myself mentality. Okay, I love you, queens. You are strong. Yes, you can do it by yourself, but that is not the correct order in culture. That puts you in a masculine role where you shouldn't have to be in a masculine role. You have to figure out what is going on with inside you to keep picking these relationships that are making you feel like that you got to do it by yourself, because not all of these kings out here, well, excuse me, not all of these men out here know that they're kings. Not all of these men out here have been nurtured, and sometimes you got to hold your king down until he come into we mature much quicker than them. Not all of them are bad. It's just the ones that you are choosing. You got to find out why you're choosing those. Again, that could be something that you're attracting to yourself, and it could be something about yourself that you need to be healing. Hey, Malcolm. All right, so queens, if you're out here and you're like that, you don't want to mess with F boys, and but these are the things that are attracting you. You got to start. Okay, first go back to self. When you go back to self and look at how you're presenting yourself to these men, things might change a little bit, because there's a lot of times we don't realize as women that the way we dress shows a man what we're about. The way that we walk shows that man what we're about. The way that we talk shows that man what we're about. Me personally, I'm an alpha. I'm gonna attract people, but am I asking for the type of attention that they're giving? No, I'm not. I'm not out here like I'm not. You okay? Well, excuse me. I'm not out here showing myself. Just caught myself lying for a minute. But sometimes the girls get out of the they don't stay where they supposed to stay at when you get older. Let's see. I wanna There's particular when we are also the arrogance, the ego. Part of the ego branches off this little thing called pride. Now, I want to read you because I don't want to use my words. I want to tell you and translate what this says. Pride can kill a person. A proud person is just one step away from untimely death. The reason for that is that pride of such a person will not allow him to heed advice or warning when given, the end of falling into calamity. That is in the Odu Iwardi Oshe. If you are so proud when you go around other people, you feel like you're bigger than them. Whatever they tell you, you don't listen to it because you have too much pride and you have no problems and everything is all great and gravy and peaches and cream and sugar and honey. And stop lying to yourself, because deceiving yourself is bad character too. You lying to yourself as well as the other person, because the other person, you don't never know who's using their mouthpiece to speak to you. If somebody's giving you some advice, understand where the advice coming from. Look at it, take it apart, dissect it, do whatever you got to do to it, because not all advice is good advice. Now let's go back to the queens. Okay, you get some advice. Number one, if you have a friend that is single and you go to her with your personal marital advice, baby, you can't take whatever she say and honestly feel like that she's telling you anything for your own good. She's single. That's like me trying to get a PhD going to a community college. That it's just not, babies. It's just not gonna work. A lot of times these other females out here ain't happy for you anyway. Girl, if you feel like that you're in love and they can't find nobody, they just like, psh, girl, that man don't love you. Look, you could call your friend up and say, I haven't spoken to my man all day. He usually calls me about such and such time. What you feel about it? Okay. 3 out of 1,000 women are gonna tell you, oh, just maybe he's busy right now. He'll get back to you. What them other the other ratio of these women gonna be like, girl, he cheating, and you know it. You done seen the signs, and she gonna start bringing up stuff, and you can't listen to all advice. But people that have pride, they tend to listen to bad advice, and when it's good advice, they tend to brush it off, because a lot of times we can't accept criticism. Yeah, pride is crazy. Um, let's see. I want to let me look for something, because it's something that I want to say. I can't. Okay. Um, talking about that pride. I'm not gonna read that whole part of that Odu in Ika Obata, but that's Obata on the right and Ika on the left. It says, "Death killed the person who never heeded counseling. Death killed the person who never accepted advice." All right. Understand, every single one of us has to be counseled by somebody. We can't do this alone. So, number one, ladies, no, you cannot do it alone. I don't care how strong you are. And I'm not trying to say that you can't, but what I'm trying to say to you is it's not healthy. It's not healthy to feel like that you don't need a man, because there's roles in this thing. Not saying that you got to be barefoot and pregnant, cooking for him, waiting on him hand and foot. But if you want a king, you have to act like a queen and not act like that you don't need. Because men like to feel needed. Men like to feel like you need them. Girl, I don't care if you strong enough to open up a drawer. Take that damn drawer in the bedroom and have your husband open it. Because men have ego and they need it fed. And that's not a bad thing because it's in the same way that you need your heart fed. They need their ego fed. And if you don't feed their ego, then don't be mad at them when some other female out here sees the potential in him and feeds his ego. And I know some females probably will get mad and be like, okay, well, he could do him and I'm a do me. Well, baby, all you're doing is messing your own body up, making it raggedy. Save your body for your king. Because a king does not want a woman that is laying around with a whole bunch of men. I'm just saying, I'm not jumping on anybody in particular. I'm just speaking tonight. Um so in that Odu Iwori Rete, if you want to look up that one, it talks about how people have ears and they refuse to listen or they refuse to heed good advice. Um, it says if you have ears and you refuse good advice, you're deceiving yourself. That's not good character. Um, there's a bunch of different stories that I could go into. There's endless Odus with these particular meanings of how you could stop your blessings. Well, we've talked about pride, arrogance, ego, and arrogance. Though I'm gonna leave it with those four things because those four things for us, for some reason, is very hard, and a lot of times we don't even realize that we're doing it or we're acting that way. A lot of times when you refuse to listen to advice, you end up having inconveniences and regrets and disaster. You even lose because you did not listen to advice. Um, so try to, I want men and women to actually get back to understanding one another. Because we don't understand one another. When women start talking, it seems like nagging for men, and when men start talking, we tend to feel like that y'all are just lost. Yeah, we weren't even talking about the same thing. So we just got to get on the same boat. Go back to this cultural way, and everybody that wants to say that a man should have 2 and 3 wives, well, do what you got to do, but that's not going to happen in my household. That's not going to bring anything but problems because I'm territorial and I know I'm not sharing mine. And you could do what you want to with that. If you share, if you polygamy and stuff, if you're into that, that's all well and fine. That's you. But you all have to have an understanding that you all need each other. The woman shouldn't be doing everything by herself, and the man shouldn't be doing everything by himself. It should be 50-50 because there's a job that a woman is good at doing, and it should be inside of her home. If she wants to go to work, let that be her choice. And then there's that other aspect where the man is the one that's the hunter, goes out and gets the food and brings it back, and the woman cleans it and cooks it. Women today seem that we're trying to turn them into slaves when we say, okay, well, this is the cultural way that it's done. Women are like, nah, I'm not taking care of that nigga. But what I'm saying is, if you want a king, you will eventually. So we just got to get back on the same page with how we feel about relationship status. If you're doing everything that you need to do in your relationship, you don't have to worry about that third party sneaking in there because he ain't going to pay attention to her. He's going to pay more attention to you because these men aren't stupid. And that's why younger men now are looking for older females because they're like the younger ones just won't They don't want to act right. They don't want to do the same things, but it's not every one of them that are young. It's just a lot of women have been so damaged and hurt. They're just like, I'm going to do this by myself. So kings, pick it up. Pick it up. Show them something better. And queens, you pick it up and you show these kings something better. I will talk to you guys another night when I can't go to sleep or either during the day. Other than that, you have a wonderful night. Enjoy your sleep. Love you. Odabu.